Hello again. Second half of my post about A Nightmare on Elm Street. So continuing what I said, picking up where I left off, where Wes Craven came across that homeless man, that very badly burnt homeless man in his childhood, and that made an impression on him. So that sunk in his subconscious. Years later, when he was a teacher, before he became a director, he was reading articles, a number of articles that showed up in the LA Times that were focusing on refugees from Laos and Cambodia, mainly Cambodia. And these people were in refugee camps in the States, and many of the people were dying in their sleep without any explanation that anybody could surmise. Nobody could assess or understand why they were dying in their sleep. They just seemed to stop living, stop breathing in their sleep, just stop living. So who knows if any investigations went further into that. But that also stuck in his mind. And one article in particular stuck in his memory about a Cambodian student whose father was in fact a doctor, and they were living in better conditions, but he was very terrified to fall asleep. The young boy was, right? He had a sense, he had this premonition of his death. He sensed that something was after him in his dreams, in his nightmares. And he was insistent on this. And his family was trying to coax him out of this, trying to convince him, no, it's just your imagination, it's not real. So they were giving him sleeping pills, trying to help him sleep. So one evening while they were all watching television in the living room, the son finally conks out, falls asleep. Oh, big sigh of relief from the family. Finally, right, he's asleep. Okay, we can relax now. And the father took him to his bed, carried him to his bed, and then came back down to watch TV with the family. Within a few minutes, he heard screaming. And of course, the whole family ran upstairs to check this out, to see what was going on, and then came into the room, and only in a few seconds he saw his son thrashing about in the bed, and then he just fell dead. Again, without any explanation that he could figure out. So, obviously later on they looked around the room, looked into what had happened, and found that he had kept a coffee maker filled with black coffee attached to a extension cord, which he kept hidden in the closet to stay awake. They found all these sleeping pills that he was supposed to have taken, and he had hidden them. So none of that helped. But yet this young man just died. Possibly from lack of sleep, but it just seemed like something just took his life at that moment. So all these things stuck out, gelled into Wes Craven's mind as he thought, there is something there, both the idea of a boogeyman that delights in taunting youth and harming youth, and a creature, something that could harm you in your nightmares, something that could follow you in your sleep, into your nightmares, and actually harm you and kill you. So that became A Nightmare on Elm Street.